Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. Today's episode is easily the biggest of the season. The final 3 games on the road against Toronto to pretty much determine the winner of the AL East. Us and the Blue Jays are currently separated by a game. Toronto stands at 97 and 62. We stand at 96 and 63. So these 3 games will literally determine the outcome of the AL East. If Toronto wins the series, so that would mean they win at least 2 games, they win the division, we're forced to a wild card game. If we win 2 of 3, we will go to a game 163 against Toronto to determine the winner of the division, and if we sweep the series, then we win the division, and the Blue Jays are forced to the wild card game. The loser of the division will face off against either the Angels or the Astros, more likely the latter in the wild card round, as the Angels and Astros are currently separated by 2 games, with Los Angeles having a slight lead. I think we're in a good spot going into our final series of the year, and I think we really have to view this like a playoff series. Now, yes, if we get swept, we're not done or anything. That'll just bring us to the wild card game. But I still think we need to view this like a playoff series. We need to view these like our most important games of the season because, well, they are. So we're going to get creative with lineups. We're going to get creative with pitching. We might have bullpen days where it's only relievers from the first inning onwards. And we might have days where we just pitch multiple starters. I do want to take a quick look at Toronto's lineup and rotation. Obviously, I think it's good to get a look at the other teams, specifically our competition, not just for this series, but possibly in a playoff series. The winner of our division will be the #1 seed in the American League, and if the loser of the division wins the wild card game, that means that these 2 teams would play off against each other again in an ALDS matchup. So these 2 teams are facing off for a big-time series here, but it might not be the last one this year. We're going to play all 3 games today. I know normally I don't do 3 games, but with the special circumstances, I figured it made sense. Looking at the lineups in just a moment here, the Orioles will be going with their regular starters for the most part. Same can be said for Toronto. And I do want to quickly compare the team statistics. 2 of the best lineups in baseball. We have scored the 2nd most runs, 1st most home runs. They have the 2nd most homers, 4th most runs entirely. So 2 high-powered offenses, 2 pretty good pitching staffs. As it's Trent Thornton on the bump today for the Blue Jays. He is their 5th starter, but sub-3 ERA, sub-1.2 whip. Not your traditional 3rd starters. Lewis St. John here in the 1st. Hits that one high, deep into center field. It's gone! Solo home run for Lewis St. John, his 38th of the season. That is how you start off probably the most important game so far of the season. Big home run for St. John, who's had a big month of September. And the Orioles will quickly get on the board as it'll be John Means on the bump today. His 22nd start of the season. Missed some time with an injury, spent some time in the bullpen, but entering the playoffs, I think it's fair to say he will be a mainstay in the rotation as Bo Bichette opens up this game off strong. That one into right field. Heston Kjerstad misplays it, and that'll be a triple for Bo Bichette. Not really the start the Orioles wanted defensively and pitching, and now Bichette is 90 feet away from home, and he will be driven in as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. grounds it out to second. Shed Lawn will make the play. So both offenses score here in the 1st inning as we are tied up at 1. Here's Austin Meadows now for Toronto. A little lefty-on-lefty crime. He goes down to the slider. Big strikeout there for John Means to end the inning. Not a great inning, but nonetheless, this game is tied up at 1. On to the 2nd. Runner on, 1 away for Jalen Miller, who rips that one into right field for a base hit. So far, so good for both offenses. I mean, these 2 units are really looking impressive. Carmen Sixto up with 2 away, has a chance to drive and a runner home, and it looks like he will. Sixto's ball goes off the wall. 1 run scores. Carmen Sixto headed to 2nd, and he is gunned down. Sixto aggressive on the base paths, and it backfires, but a run does score, and the Orioles will make it a 2-1 ball game. Bottom 2, John Means trying to get into a groove. That's not really going to help as George Springer rips it into right center field. Rounding first, headed to 2nd. The throw from Xavier Bowman is not in time, so that'll be a double for Springer, and the Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position for Corey Dickerson. Grounds it to second. Shed Lawn fields it cleanly. That is the first half inning today with no scoring. Remains 2-1. Baltimore up top as we head to the third. Xavier Bowman leads the inning off, and that one is rocketing down the third base line. That one is going to be fair for an extra base hit. A stand-up double for Xavier Bowman, and with nobody out, the Orioles have a runner in scoring position and a huge opportunity to extend the lead. Shed Lawn hits this one solidly into center field for a base hit. Bowman rounding third. The throw from Springer is just a little bit too late. RBI single for Shed Lawn. Xavier Bowman scores, and the Orioles will take a 3-1 lead. That'll bring up Louis St. John. Had the home run earlier. This one will definitely stay in the ballpark. It'll actually go for a 4-6-3 double play. So, unfortunately for the Orioles, they lose their base runner, but they scored again in that inning, so you can't really get too upset. Now let's move to the bottom of the fourth. Not a ton of offense here. Randy Arozarena grounds out to third. John Means is dealing right now. 3 consecutive shutout innings. He is a man on a mission right now as we transition to the fifth inning. Xavier Bowman up his second hit of the game. A single into center field, and with one away, the Orioles lineup has a chance here towards the meat of the order. 2, 3, 4 to get some offense going again. 2 away for St. John. This one is hit nicely into center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Bowman advances to third, and the Orioles now have a pair of base runners on the corners for Nick Castellanos. Grounds it to third. Guerrero, tough throw over to second. He does make the play, so Toronto will get out of the inning unscathed, and this one remains 3-1. Let's watch some more John Means masterclass, shall we? This is Rowdy Tellez here, lefty on lefty crime. And he gets fooled by the low curveball. Great pitch from John Means, who's pitching the game of his life right now. How about some more lefty on lefty? Corey Dickerson grounds it to second. Shed Lawn with the play. 3 consecutive perfect innings for John Means. 4 consecutive scoreless innings. And he is not showing any signs of slowing down. I don't think Baltimore is going to look to the bullpen anytime soon. Speaking of bullpen, Toronto will put in one of their relievers, Eric Pardino, his 10th appearance of the season as he faces off here against Jalen Miller with 2 away. And Miller takes a big swing and a miss. Good inning for Pardino as he retires the side. No runs since the top of the third inning for either team as it remains 3-1. Kevin Biggio with 2 away. Flies this one to center field. Bowman with the play. John Means' pitch count is only at 72. I think the Orioles could get another inning or 2 out of him, which is just really, really impressive. Now let's go to the 7th. Still 3-1. Pardino remains on the mound as he strikes out Carmen Sixto. Eric Pardino pitching really well. Maybe they should have started him over Trent Thornton. Bottom 7 now. Means is not a lot of base runners since the second inning. And that's going to change here as Vlad Guerrero Jr. will get a single deflecting off of John Means' foot. It looked like Means appears to be a little bit shaken up, but he's a tough cookie. He's going to stay in the ball game. 2 away now for George Springer. That one deflects off his leg. John Means is taking a beating right now. Has had 2 balls deflect off of him. That's what she said. Means is visibly hurt here, but again, he's going to try to tough it out and stay in the ball game. He would eventually give the thumbs up to the dugout. Rowdy Tellez singles into center field. Base runner halts himself at third. So Toronto is loaded the bases. 2 away, down by 2. Can John Means get out of this inning against Corey Dickerson? Swinging a miss. A huge strikeout from John Means, who is fired up. Walking back to the dugout. 7 innings, only 1 run allowed. We'll see if the Orioles make a pitching change going into the 8th. Shed Lawn leads the inning off for Baltimore. This one is lined high and pretty deep into right field. See you later. Shed Lawn with a solo home run. We finally have runs for the first time since the 3rd inning. Number 24 on the season for Shed Lawn, who has now driven in 2 runs today, and Baltimore extends their lead. It's now 4-1. But the Orioles are not done. Louis St. John, the very next batter, lines this one in the left field. It's gone. Number 39 on the season for LSJ. A multi-home run game for the 20-year-old phenom. And the Orioles extend it even further as they now lead this game 5-1. Back-to-back home runs for Lawn and St. John. And Toronto realizes they have to make a pitching change. The lefty, Ryan Baraki, is in to try to get the Blue Jays out of this mess. 2 away here for Adley Rutschman. He hits this one high. Not that deep in a right field. It will be caught, but a successful inning for the Orioles as they drive in 2 runs thanks to a pair of back-to-back bombs by Shed Long and Louis St. John. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th now, and as you can see, John Means still in the game. That might have been a mistake, however. Gabriel Moreno, the leadoff batter, hits that one over the glove of the third baseman. That'll be a double for Moreno, and I think the Orioles realize that, yeah, I think John Means probably needs to be taken out of the game. He's been a little bit shakier these past couple of innings, but just an absolute gem of a performance for Means. And it's the lefty, Amir Garrett, who enters. Let's see Amir Garrett put on a show here. Top of the order, he strikes out Bo Bichette to open things up. How about Kevin Biggio, lefty on lefty? And he gets him to go down on the slider, and we go to the top of the 9th. Trey Winggetter is in for Toronto. He's had an all-right season, facing off against Ivan Cortez Jr., entering as a pinch hitter, doing what he does best, that beautiful drag bunt. Ivan Cortez Jr. showing off the speed. He's going to try to show the speed off again here, attempting to steal second base. The throw from Moreno is in time. It was offline, but he was still able to throw out the runner, so the decision to steal second backfires against Cortez, and that's a shame because he probably would have scored on this play. Carmen Sixto rounding first, headed to second, and he is out! Carmen Sixto is out again, trying to leg a single to a double. I don't think Sixto's decision-making on either of those plays were really bad at all, and if anything, I think it was just great defense and a great tag on that last play by Bichette. Jordan Hicks enters in the bottom of the 9th, just trying to make sure things end smoothly. Hey, that's a good start as he strikes out Austin Meadows on the outside fastball. Now the MVP candidate, Randy Arozarena, hits that one high and gone into left field. And for the first time since the first inning, the Blue Jays are on the board. Home run number 40 for Arozarena. And now that it is a save situation, the Orioles realize, hey, we need our best pitcher in. We are up by a comfortable 3 runs, but it's really not worth risking it. So Edwin Diaz is in for the save. It looks like he's going to get that. Tellez flies this one into left field. St. John makes the grab. And with 2 games left to go in the regular season, the Orioles and Blue Jays are all knotted up at 97 and 63. A big 5-2 win here for the Orioles in Game 1 of the series. That is how you set the tone in your most important regular season series in a long time. 2 home runs for St. John, 1 for Lawn, and of course a dominant performance on the mound from John Means, and the bullpen finished it off. The Blue Jays were not great. The pitching was a little bit inconsistent. The lineup wasn't all that fantastic. So now with 2 games to go, we're tied. And as we take a look at the AL West, both the Angels and the Astros won their first games in their respective series. So pretty much if the Angels win one of their last 2 games, or if Houston loses one of their last 2 games, then the Angels win that division and Houston will be a wild card. So let's get to Game 2, a very big game to see which side really gains momentum in the series. Will it be the Orioles or will it be Toronto? Here's a look at both lineups for today's game. The Orioles mixing it up a little bit with guys like Elliot Ramos and Shane Kovaleski starting today. Jack Flaherty on the bump for Toronto. They paid him a big chunk of change in the offseason, and they're hoping that he can perform in his biggest outing as a Blue Jay yet. Jalen Miller leading today's ball game off, opens things up with a walk, so hey, that's a pretty good start. Shed Lawn now hits that one into left field, an Oppo base hit. So already, the Orioles have a pair of runners on base with nobody out. A real nice opportunity here for Louis St. John, who went deep twice in the first game of the series. And this one's going to be grounded into a double play. A very bad wasted opportunity there for the Orioles, but they still have a runner on third. There are 2 outs, but Nick Castellanos can drive him in. That's not going to happen as Castellanos breaks his bat, and he will ground out to first. So Flaherty is able to get out of the jam. The Orioles had a pair of runners on base with nobody out, but they were unable to score anybody. Corbin Burns will be starting for the Orioles, the free agent impending this offseason, as we open up the second inning with a solo home run by Austin Meadows, and that'll put the Toronto Blue Jays up 1-0. Home run number 36 on the year for Meadows. But I don't think the Blue Jays are quite done. Randy Arozarena, the next batter, singles into right field. Burns in a 1-2-3 first inning, but that is quickly evaporated here as Rowdy Tellez now. That one is gone into right field. What a start to this game for the Toronto Blue Jays. And they now lead 3-0. Let's go to the third inning now. Shane Kovaleski would draw a walk, and then Jalen Miller would hit a single into right field. So, hey, again, look at this. 2 on, nobody out. Another opportunity for the Orioles to get on the board. One away here for Louis St. John, grounded into a double play in his last at-bat. He's not going to this time, but look at Shane Kovaleski. He starts running way too early, realizes his mistake, but it's too late. The Blue Jays gun him down a double play in really the worst way possible, and the Orioles would make a substitution. They remove Kovaleski from the game. They will put Carmen Sixto in his place. And it looks like the third inning is going pretty well. It appears to be a 1-2-3 inning, but not so fast. Nick Castellanos drops it in right field. I mean, the hits just keep on coming for the Orioles. This is quickly turning into a disaster. They counted that play as a double, not an error. But if you look at it again, Castellanos, clear as day, just completely dropped it. I don't know how that one could be against Corbin Burns. It won't really matter. Following batter will ground out to second base. Good play by Shed Lawn. But still, the Orioles just look absolutely sloppy today. I don't know what the difference from here in Game 1 is, but this looks like a totally different team. Despite that, Baltimore is going to keep fighting. The Orioles are now on the board, courteous of a solo home run by Heston Kjerstad, and that'll cut the deficit down to 2. Home run number 27 on the year for Heston Kjerstad. I'm not ready to say the Orioles are back in it, but that should give them some momentum. The Blue Jays do not appear to be comfortable only being up by 2, and the offense is trying to get back into it, featuring a Rowdy Tellez single. He is now 2 for 2. 2 away here for Dickerson. This one flown into center field. Elliot Ramos. That was a close call. Gave me a heart attack there. But he does make the play. Speaking of Elliot Ramos, he would lead things off here in the top of the 5th. Remains a 2-run game, and Ramos rips this one into left field for a base hit. Good to see Elliot Ramos quickly getting aboard, but unfortunately he would not stay on base. Carmen Sixto will ground into a 5-4-3 double play. We've had at least like 3 double plays from the Orioles lineup today. Not great. Bottom 5, 2 away for Biggio. Grounds this one to second. Shed Lawn makes the play. Corbin Burns, overall in this game, I don't think has pitched that badly. Minus the second inning. He's been pretty impressive. 3 straight scoreless innings. And now we move to the 6th. Still a 3-1 ball game. Shed Lawn hits this one high. Pretty deep in the left field. Back at the track at the wall. It is caught. Yeah, a little bit anticlimactic there. Lawn had a home run in the first game today. Would have been nice to see him go back-to-back. Louis St. John strikes out on the fastball. And as you can see, Jack Flaherty is on fire right now. Just completely dominating this Orioles lineup. But Corbin Burns is also on fire. We've got ourselves an old-fashioned pitcher's duel. As there is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going down swinging. Austin Meadows also goes down on strikes. Burns only had 1 strikeout going into this inning, and now he has 2 in this inning alone. Wild. Randy Arozarena singles into center. Elliot Ramos baits Arozarena into going to second, and he is successful. Elliot Ramos with the big brain play out there in center. Tempting Arozarena to go up to second base, but Ramos says, Big play by Elliot Ramos there in center field. We go to the 7th. Blake Trinan will enter here for the Toronto Blue Jays in relief of Jack Flaherty. Heston Kjerstad with the home run in his last at-bat leads the inning off. And he's going to draw a walk on the low slider. Good start to the inning for the Orioles as they get a runner across. And maybe Baltimore's lineup can get a little rally going with the bullpen now in for the Blue Jays. That'll bring up Adley Rutschman. 1-2 pitch. This ball is hit high. Deep into right field. And we are tied at 3. Adley Rutschman with a 2-run blast. Number 22 on the year. And this game just got real interesting, ladies and gentlemen. A huge home run by Adley Rutschman. And now we are knotted up at 3. The Orioles lineup does not appear to be done. Elliot Ramos into the right center gap. His second hit of the game, rounding first. And he's going to pass second, going to third. A triple for Elliot Ramos. He is going to be safe at third base. And now the Orioles are 90 feet away from taking the lead. Blake Trinan taken out of the game, and it'll be Evan Marshall who comes in to pad the bleeding, essentially, as he faces off against Carmen Sixto. Wow, that is a huge strikeout. And now the Orioles need a base hit to drive in the runner and take the lead. Jalen Miller up to bat, hits that one pretty nicely into right field. It will be caught. So the Orioles leave Elliot Ramos at third, but it's not all bad. They do drive in two, courteous of a two-run homer by Adley Rutschman, and we are knotted up at 3. Going into the bottom of the 7th, the rookie Julian Starnes is in for the Orioles, facing off against Corey Dickerson, who strikes out on the cutter. Pretty routine inning for Starnes, and now we go to the 8th. Tied at 3. We'll see if either side can break away, or maybe if we need extra innings. Shed Long leads the inning off, and he gets plunked. Long gets hit in the shoulder, giving Evan Marshall a stare down as he walks to first. You could tell he was visibly upset. Louis St. John strikes out again. St. John 0 for 4 today after a big 3 for 4 day in Game 1. Here is a starting pitcher comparison for those curious. Both Burns and Flaherty pitched 6 innings. Both pitched pretty well. Castellanos, the following batter, lines this one into left field for a single. And that's good news for Nick Castellanos. Not only does he get on base, he's going to keep his hit streak alive, and he's actually going to extend it up to 14. Good work there from Castellanos. Hey, he's only like 40 away from DiMaggio. Bichette deflects that one. Biggio picks it up, but the runner, Heston Kjerstad, is safe at first. And the bases are loaded for Adley Rutschman, who had a home run earlier, and he grounds it to first. Tellez to Bichette. Back to Tellez. And the Blue Jays turn the double play. This game remains tied at 3. Just a costly play there by Rutschman. You can't get too mad at him. He had the big home run earlier, but man, that hurts. You had an opportunity to strike, and you failed it under the pressure. Colin Poche, Mr. Reliable, is in here in the bottom of the 8th. The model of consistency these past few seasons, trying to get a routine inning here, but it wouldn't be so easy. Bo Bichette with a missile in the left field, and the Toronto Blue Jays have regained the lead. It's now 4-3. Bo Bichette with home run number 40. A gigantic play for the Toronto Blue Jays. They are right back on top. Maybe the biggest home run of their season thus far. Guerrero lines this one into right field. It appears that the Blue Jays offense is not done. They are looking for more here in this 8th inning, and they're going to try to get more. So now there's 2 away. The Orioles will make a pitching change, and it'll be Sir Anthony Dominguez who is in for Colin Poche. Interesting decision there by Baltimore to put Dominguez in the game, but it looks like it's going to pay off as the following batter will fly out into foul territory, caught by Carmen Sixto. So we go to the 9th. The Blue Jays lead 4-3, courteous of a solo home run by Bo Bichette, and it'll be Trey Winggetter in for the save. Not really their main closer. He only has 6 saves on 7 appearances this season, but he's going to try to get it here. Max Muncy leads off, and he's going to take a big swing and miss of a high fastball, and he is frustrated with himself, realizing that was not the pitch to swing at. Elliot Ramos was next up. Ramos is 2 for 3 today, but the Orioles still will make a pinch hitting change, and it'll be Xavier Bowman who enters in the ballgame. 2-1 pitch. Bowman hits this one shallow into short center. Bichette makes the play, and now the Orioles are down to their final out of the game, and it'll be the 9-hole hitter, Carmen Sixto. 1-2 pitch, and he's going to check his swing for strike 3. The umpire says he went around, and the Toronto Blue Jays win Game 2 of this series by the final score of 4-3. A very close game down to the wire, a pitcher's duel between Jack Flaherty and Corbin Burns. I know Burns allowed 3 runs, but he had 5 flawless innings. Certainly not the reason why we lost today. The offense wasn't really consistent, and the bullpen obviously kind of let us down there with Colin Poche allowing the home run. Toronto's offense really was not great either. Only 8 hits, but they had a few big home runs. Meadows and Tellez into second inning, and of course Bo Bichette finished it off. Jack Flaherty was good. The pitching and the bullpen was a little bit shaky, particularly Blake Trinan, but nonetheless a win's a win. So that brings us to Game 162, the final game of the season. The Orioles and Blue Jays have split the first 2 of the series. So now here's the situation. If Toronto wins this game, they win the AL East, and the Orioles will play the Houston Astros in the wild card game. It is official. The Astros will be that second wild card. If Baltimore wins, then both teams will finish with records of 98 and 64, meaning there will be a game 163 to determine who wins the division. Toronto will send Alek Manoah out on the mound. He has pitched well against the Orioles this season, facing off against Adley Rutschman, who had the big home run in Game 2, but also grounded into that bad double play. Rutschman will hit a single into left center field. So, hey, an early base runner here in the first inning. We'll see if the Orioles can quickly get some runs across, and it appears the answer is no. Castellanos with a routine grounder over to the shortstop, Bo Bichette, who flips it over to second. So no damage from the Orioles in the first inning as we go to the bottom half of the frame. German Marquez is in for Baltimore. Now, Marquez has been a little bit disappointing in September. His ERA has gone up, still 2.53, which is really good. But if the Orioles go to a game 163 or a wild card, which is guaranteed, they might want German Marquez to pitch a little bit. So the plan today will be, unless German Marquez is dominating, to only have him go about 3 or so innings, just so his arm can be loose for down the road. I'm telling you, the Orioles are really focusing on the long game here rather than the short game. Marquez's first inning would be fairly successful. He did allow a base hit to Vlad Guerrero Jr., but it would be finished off of a flyout by Austin Meadows. Still tied nothing through 1. Neither offense really breaking away as we go to the second. Shed Lawn rips it into right center field. That one is out of here. Solo home run for Shed Lawn, 25th of the year, second in this series. And it is the Baltimore Orioles who are on the board first. They will take a 1-0 lead. Good to see Shed Lawn continuing to just rake at the plate. But Randy Arozarena here is going to try to give a quick answer. But that's only going to go to the warning track. Louis St. John makes the play. A close call for Randy. Would have been his 41st home run of the season. George Springer now up. Lines this one to first. What a play by Carmen Sixto. Showing off the glove work. The Orioles keep their 1-0 lead through 2. So far, so good for German Marquez. If he continues to dominate, the Orioles are going to keep him in. But if not, again, they might take it out after 3 or 4. Xavier Bowman strikes out. It looks like Alek Manoah is really pitching well, too, outside of the home run. Speaking of home runs, here is Corey Dickerson, who's going to tie it at 1. Huge home run for Dickerson, only his 5th of the season. So the Blue Jays are going to knock this one up as we go to the 4th. 2 away for Shed Lawn. Hit the homer earlier. This one will stay in the ballpark, but it's going to drop for likely extra bases as Lawn will head into second pretty easily. A 2-out double here for Shed Lawn, who is second on the team in doubles, actually tied for second with Louis St. John. So that'll bring up Carmen Sixto, an opportunity to drive in a runner, but instead he goes down on the slider. Manoah gets out of the inning pretty easily, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. already 1 for 1 today. Going to get another base hit. Singling this one into right field. Christian Robinson getting the start today, and right makes the play. So normally German Marquez would continue to stay in the game, but the Orioles will make a pitching change. They're going to go with Framber Valdez, who is one of their starters. So again, the Orioles are guaranteed to play in either a game 163 or a wild card game. So they want German Marquez to be ready if necessary. They don't want to waste his arm here. And they do want multiple innings out of their next pitcher. That's why they're going with one of their starters in Framber Valdez, who is well rested. He has not pitched in 4 days. His afternoon would not start off great. Arozarena triples in a right center field. The runner will score safely. That's Guerrero. And so the Toronto Blue Jays not only take a 2-1 lead, but they have Randy Arozarena 90 feet away from home. Tellez draws a 1-out walk, and so far the decision to take out Marquez for Framber Valdez has been kind of a disaster. Carmen Sixto, what a play at first! The Orioles will turn 2, they get out of the inning. What a big defensive play by Carmen Sixto, taking a run off the board. It does remain 2-1. The Blue Jays did score that inning, but it definitely feels like they could have gotten more. Christian Robinson strikes out on the fastball. Alek Manoah, as you can see, is just dealing right now. Bottom 5, Bo Bichette hits that one to the warning track and left. Louis St. John collides into the wall, unable to make the grab. A double for Bichette. And it continues to be a pretty rocky day so far for Framber Valdez. Maybe the Orioles won't keep him in for a while as he walks Mariano Escobar. Escobar's hitting under 200, so that's really not ideal. The damage would continue here as Vlad gets his third base hit of the game. Bichette rounding third, headed to the plate. He is out of there! Great defense by the Orioles. Christian Robinson to the cutoff man. Carmen Sixto to the plate. Great tag by Adley Rutschman. And it remains a one-run game. Phenomenal defense there by the Orioles, getting Framber Valdez out of another pickle. Top 6, Manoah remains in the game, and Adley Rutschman opens things up with a base hit. It's been a rough day for the Oriole lineup today, but maybe this is the inning where they get together. Louis St. John is now up at the plate. Full count pitch. This one is rocketed into center field. It will drop. So now the Orioles have a pair of runners on base with nobody out. If they want to get back in it, this is the inning to do so. Manoah will be removed from the game. It'll be Nate Pearson who enters for Toronto. 80 appearances, 180 innings this season with an ERA just below 4 at 3.87. His first batter would be Nick Castellanos. He goes down looking on the slider. What a pitch by Nate Pearson. Wow, that was just an absolute beauty. So now with one away, that'll bring up Heston Kjerstad. Grounds this one into left field for a single. Adley Rutschman decides to hold up at third. We'll see if that bites Baltimore in the rear end. So the bases are now loaded. A huge opportunity for Shed Lawn, who's already gone deep today. 2-2 pitch. This one is hit high, deep, into right field. That ball is gone. A grand slam for Shed Lawn. And the Orioles will make it 5-2 here in Game 162. The biggest home run of the season, a salami for Shed Lawn. What a pickup this kid has been. He was a platoon player the first 2 months of the season in Seattle. The Orioles picked him up, and ever since, he has been a key cog in this lineup. In this series against Toronto, he now has 3 home runs, including 2 today. He's driven in all 5 runs as well. Wow. What a performance for Shed Lawn. But Toronto's not going to quit. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, it's Randy Arozarena who had a triple in his last at-bat. He's going to get another one. So again with one out, Arozarena finds himself at third, his 9th of the year. So Toronto has a nice opportunity to drive them in. Tellez strikes out. That is a huge K for Framber Valdez as he tries to get his confidence back. Valdez really has not pitched all that well. He would end up allowing a run here, as you can see. George Springer singles into center. It'll only be a single as he is tagged out going to second. These Blue Jays base runners today have been running the bases with drunk goggles. I mean, the base running awareness has really killed them, and that might cost them this ball game. They've been tagged out running the bases multiple times today after in Game 2, Baltimore was out multiple times going after extra bases. Max Muncy check swings there against Nate Pearson. Big strikeout there for the Blue Jays. We go to the bottom of the 7th. This one is at the wall. St. John way mistimes it. Solo home run for Corey Dickerson, 2nd of the game, 6th of the year. And look at that score. The Toronto Blue Jays bring you within 1 as it's now 5-4. That grand slam might not be enough for the Orioles unless they can get out of these final couple innings. Valdez will escape the 7th. Escobar flies out to left. That'll probably end in Framber Valdez's day. Not his best performance, but the Orioles do have the lead, so I suppose it could be worse. Evan Marshall enters here in the 8th for the Blue Jays. 2 away for Heston Kjerstad. This one lined over the head of Tellez into right field for extra bases. Rounding first, headed to second pretty easily with a 2-out double. If the Orioles can just get another run across, take a multi-run lead, I think they'll be feeling really good about themselves. And look who it is up to bat, Shed Lawn. 2 home runs today. He's driven in all 5 runs. He now has an OPS above 1,000 as well. But unfortunately, as you'll see here, he does not make it 4 for 4. Grounding out to second, Mariano Escobar will make the play. So it remains 5-4, entering the bottom of the 8th inning. Really still anybody's ball game for the most part. Amir Garrett is in for the Orioles. Do you guys want to watch some Amir Garrett masterclass real quick? Well, you're in luck because you're about to see it. Let's start off with Vlad Guerrero Jr., 3 for 3. Looks foolish, chasing the inside sinker. Good start for Garrett. That's strikeout number 1. Lefty on lefty. It's Austin Meadows. Goes down on the low slider. But this one right here is my favorite against Randy Arozarena, who has back-to-back triples. That's just not fair Amir Garrett is just not fair. Arozarena goes down to the inside slider. The 3 Toronto batters did not even put the ball in play against Garrett. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Blake Treinen enters here in the 9th inning. Treinen had a pretty bad performance than his last outing, hoping this one's a little bit better. Elliot Ramos hits this one into shallow center. He's a pinch hitter. It is caught. Bo Bichette's had a few really nice defensive plays in this episode, added on with the go-ahead home run back in Game 2 to guide Toronto to the victory. Max Muncy now up. Entered as a pinch hitter back in the 7th inning. He is 0 for 1. Going to make that 0 for 2. Grounding out to second. Escobar makes the play. So now we go to the bottom of the 9th. 5-4 ball game. Toronto only needs 1 to tie, 2 or more to win. But they got to do it against probably the best reliever in baseball, Edwin Diaz, who is in for save number 48. 1.61 ERA, batting average is below 200 against both righties and lefties as Rowdy Tellez opens things up with a strikeout. Diaz chirping back to him. Edwin Diaz leads all American League relievers in saves at 47, trying to get to 48 today as he strikes out George Springer. 5 straight strikeouts for Garrett and Diaz combined. So that'll bring up guess who? Corey Dickerson, who has 2 home runs today. A third one would tie it up. 1-1 pitch. Dickerson does put the ball in play. This one will drop into left for an extra base hit. Toronto lives to see another at-bat. A double for Corey Dickerson, who has been unbelievably good in this game. Runner in scoring position now. 2 away. Raimel Tapia will enter as a pinch runner to replace Dickerson, and it's Danny Jansen. Grounds it to second. Fittingly, Shed Lawn makes the play, and after 162 regular season games, the Orioles' regular season is not over, finishing with a record of 98-64, the same record as the Toronto Blue Jays. We will head to a Game 163 to determine the winner of the American League East. The loser of said game will host Houston in the wild card game. Good teams find ways to win baseball games like this. I feel like the Blue Jays outplayed us in this one. Outside of Shed Lawn, who was unbelievable today, the offense really was not great. The pitching was not great either. Framber Valdez was shaky. German Marquez wasn't all that spectacular, although the bullpen was sensational. But I think the Blue Jays hit the ball better than us. I think they were more consistent on offense, and I think their pitching was better. But again, good, tough, scrappy teams find a way to win games even when they're getting outplayed. And that's what we did today, led by one of the scrappiest of them all in Shed Lawn. So as I said, we're both 98-64, and Game 163 will be held at home, which is great. I think we must have had the head-to-head tiebreaker over them during the regular season. I imagine that's how they determine who the home team is. So we will host Toronto for a 163rd game. The winner will advance to the 1 seed in the American League. The loser will host the wild card game. And we have a tough decision. This would have been Framber Valdez's start, but since he pitched 4 innings, he's probably not going to pitch. So do we want to go with an all-bullpen game? Do we want to go with Tristan McKenzie, who's loose and ready to go? Do we want to go with German Marquez for a couple innings? We have a lot of really tough choices to make. Let me know who you think we should start in the next episode to determine if we can win our 2nd straight division title. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Peace out.